What's up, folks? Good morning, and welcome to the Global Speedrun Association. I'm Electric, here with me, FC Racers, for the Celeste Any Percent League Qualifier Group Stage race between Starcruncher and Lev067. Let's go. Had a little bit of a delayed start, but we are going to be getting this race underway for you right now. FC, how are you feeling about this race? First time co-comming since those awesome finals at Pace.
To be quite honest, I am thrilled and very excited to get this one underway. I have been anxiously waiting to hop back into the mic. I've been catching a couple of the races earlier this week, and they have been fire. So I'm definitely looking forward to this and getting it back. I already see the chat getting a little excited there. Dream Team is back together. I would say so. You know, I think. Would you agree with that, Electric?
Yeah, I'd say it's a reunion tour at least.
Yeah, so pretty excited about that. All right, so we got prologue going on here. You know, nothing too crazy. Trying to go and learn the basic movement here, and we're going to do our nice little cutscene skip here. Now, I do want to point out that we do have some runners that are playing on console, and so they actually cannot skip those skip that cutscene. So there's just a few differences. I'll try to talk about those in the future, but let's not worry about that now because they're on PC, and let's get this going.
Yep, hoping for some nice movement in the city area. Starcruncher having a little bit of trouble in the first room, getting his momentum started. So it seems they are underway. This is where you first get that awesome dash mechanic. Oh, Lev not able to get that dash. The dash working against him there. And so this is kind of the pilot light of the run, if you will, the first time that anything gets slightly challenging. Ooh, Lev with these unfortunate deaths here. It's like he just didn't have time to warm up or something.
A little bumpy start here, but that's all right. We got a lot of game to cover. And again, the format is different this time around. We're doing one race, and I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Electric, but winner is going to walk away with 60 points, and then the person that is runner-up will have the opportunity to get up to 30 points depending on how far behind they are from the winner. Is that correct?
Yep, and if I'm correct in this, it's for 5 minutes after the winner finishes, every 10 seconds that the second place takes to finish, that'll be 1 point subtracted from that 30 and added to the winner's score. So winner can actually get up to 90 points if they finish 5 minutes ahead of second place. But it's really nice for those races that, especially some of these group stage matches are a little bit uneven. So it's nice that people are still able to walk away with some points despite those losses.
Oh yes, I am looking forward to getting some of those small bits of points.
Yeah, FC, you're in this group stage as well, aren't you?
I am. Commentator turned runner. What? What is this? But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to getting decimated too, so it'll be fun. I'll try to keep it as entertaining as my commentary. I promise. But we are in an old site, Starcrunsher, with a very substantial lead here. Getting ready to meet up with Miss Battling yet again. Lev missing the cutscene skip, going to have to go for the traditional method there. But making up some nice movement here for that. Again, like I said, we have a lot of race to go. And, you know, as usual, 5B, you know, that's always a turnaround point. Reflection and Summit as well. So seeing as they're not too far behind from each other, this could turn around and get really, really exciting.
Oh yeah.
To get closer and closer to that beautiful red cashmere flag that's on top of the summit.
Yeah, you would think that for such a grand flag, they'd come up with at least a little bit better of a pole, but just kind of got the washcloth on the stick up there. But it does its job. When you get up there your first time casually, it is the most exciting thing. I remember my hands hurt so bad. I forced myself to just continue on through those 30 flags. And it just, oh, it was so satisfying finally reaching the summit.
It really is. I'm not gonna lie. I actually watch a lot of people. Like if they're like, "Oh, it's blind play of Celeste, my first time." Woohoo! If I see that, I will pop in, especially if I see that they're on summit. And the ebb and flow is basically, you know, a lot of not safe for work words being said, a lot of frustrations as they make it to the top. And then when they get to the top, there's like this, you can like feel like this sense of clarity from any of the casters, and they're just like, wow. and then they like sit and reflect on it, and they're just like, this is actually a really good game, and I'm just like, get all excited. Giddy. It's great. If you enjoy the game, definitely watch some people playing it for the first time, because it's a treat.
Yeah, I only wish that I would have played it my first time on stream, but
Yeah, I regret not keeping my my VODs. I didn't even think of highlighting it. I was just so caught up because I immediately wanted to like run the game.
yeah, you fall in love with the movement of this game so fast. It's very fluid, and these guys just take it to another level. We didn't really touch on it, but that last little awake section of Old Site, you have to do a lot of pretty precise movement to keep your momentum all the way through. And Lev taking an unfortunate death here early on in the Celestial Resort as Starcruncher makes his way over to that huge mess.
Yeah, Starcruncher's having a little bit of hang up too from his start on Chapter 3 here. Seeing a few deaths and just a little bit of movement mistakes here. But it's alright. Lev... Uh-oh. It looks like we might... Oh.
Yeah, it's something going on in the back room. I think Lev might be forfeiting this match.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see here.
Fortunate if that's the case. He did have a pretty solid performance yesterday against, I think it was Squilio he played against.
Then actually, I believe Squilio is playing on Xbox One as well. So again, those differences in between each version of the game. So, you know, games get patched. It's 2019. But PC is the one that is on the most quote-unquote current patch, whereas the consoles are actually on 2 separate patches, actually. So the Switch is on, you know, I'm not going to give you the numbers because I don't know. I just know that the Switch is the second most current patch, and then the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, I'm not sure if they're on the same patch or if they're on different ones, but they're definitely a lot farther behind. One of the key things is there's no demo dash on Xbox One or on PlayStation 4, and the 5B through the mirror section is a lot harder. The pitfalls in that first screen are very narrow and very tight compared to PC, where you got a little leg room, a little wiggle room. Oh, no. PS4's on the same as Switch. Oh, speaking of Squilio, there he is. Nah, I don't know, man. I don't think PS4 has demo, because I remember when we brought this up, I tried for like a good 15 minutes and I couldn't get it. And then I immediately went over to PC using the same controller and I got it first try. So I was like, is it because I'm weak at this game? No. I had to double check, I had to verify, you know, like maybe you just suck at the game, FC. But
yeah.
But also the big one too is battle and boost, with the risk of the game crashing.
Yeah, that's a big one that I didn't actually know about. Apparently on the consoles, if you die during the cutscene, like the game won't slow you down moving into the cutscene like it should. And so if you die during it, the game's just nope.
No, it switches further. Squilio, I did check that.
Yeah, because I was talking with Troy about it yesterday. I think he was saying the demo is just much harder on Switch because you can't crouch midair or something.
In fact, I can verify this real quick. Let me go over to Speedrun.com because we have the patch numbers there. And yeah, also the big one too, wall bounces. Wall bounces, you get a 3 pixel, you know, leeway on PC. You don't get that on console. It is tough.
Oh yeah. And of course, if you're one of those guys that the keyboard makes more sense to you, like on console, obviously you don't have that. You're purely restricted to controller. And we see a lot of top runners on controller, but a number of guys just go ahead and opt for PC. I think your ability to put more fingers on more buttons kind of allows certain things to be easier for some people. Starcruncher though with the first try demo and also that nice room right after.
Alright, so it looks like that Lev is going to forfeit, unfortunately. See how this pans out. I would like to see Starcruncher finish this off, because one, I'm a fan of Starcruncher, I'm not even gonna lie. He is a very cool streamer, very cool variety streamer. He streams a lot of cool games like the Spyro trilogy, and he's doing Crash Team Metro Racing, as well as Celeste and a couple other games. He does a lot of those think they're, what are they, bocce games? I want to be the insert random.
Yeah, I want to be the
Words
guy.
here.
I think is the original one. And man, some of those hacks are ridiculous. I always try to make sure to watch them when I see them in marathons, and they're just ridiculous.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy. I
Now,
know. Oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say we're getting confirmation from Starcruncher that he is actually gonna be finishing the run, so we will go ahead and get to see a full run. But unfortunately, Lev with that forfeit.
All right, and I am looking over just real quick since we were talking about the different versions. So current patch for PC is 1.2.6.1. Then we have the Switch coming in at 1.2.2.1. Actually, let me double check that. Let me find Flash's time, because I know that he's recently PB'd somewhere on this leaderboard. There's so many people. Oh my gosh.
Right. I mean, this game appeals to so many people, and there's such room for improvement.
Definitely. Yeah, Switch is on 1.2.2.1, and then Xbox One is 1.2.1.5. So
Oh wow.
there are small differences there. Now, I believe people were saying that, like for example, with I think it was Squilio's match, like there was a gentleman agreement on not doing some things on PC that the console runners can or cannot do. So.
Right, like there was one match with Squilio where they the other player opted not to do the prologue skip.
I'm just gonna put this out here right now because I am in the qualifier. I do run against Crichter, who's playing on Xbox One. And due to the fact that our times are like minutes apart, yeah, like he's like 4 minutes faster than me. Me skipping that cutscene in prologue is not going to make a difference. So I am going to skip it. I'm going to just put that out there right now. You guys can call me, you villainous, you know, whatever. That's not going to matter. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I even said on my stream last night, I was like, look, if for some reason I like pull a rabbit out of my hat and I manage to win it and I win by less than 15 seconds, I will go ahead and give Crichter the win. Because it's like, okay, yeah, that definitely would have, you know, it would have made a difference if I would have waited. But honestly, Crichter's an amazing runner. I've actually raced against him before in a previous tournament, and he kind of like just snuffed me out like an old cigarette. So it was all bad. All right, we got Starcruncher doing a little Cirque du Soleil here in good old Golden Ridge.
Yeah, did you see that nice save earlier in the bubble room?
I did not, unfortunately.
He came up a little bit short of that ending platform, but managed to go ahead and react and grab the wall and do a couple wall bounces to get back up.
Nice. Now, actually,
nice
I know
movement going along
Starcruncher.
with the win there.
You know, because 5B, you know, that's become a staple. And funny enough, Starcruncher actually didn't incorporate 5B until not too long ago. I want to say maybe like 1 or 2 months ago. He was originally just running 5A. So. And actually, I remember, was it Aurora Dash that actually was running 6B?
Yep.
Yeah, and I did catch that interview where he said that, you know, like his 6A was not a good time, so he was like, well, I'll just do 6B instead, and it was paying off for him. So.
Yeah, and that last race though, like with the spike fall room, it definitely was costing him. So I wonder if, like later on in the tournament, we'll see him go ahead and just adopt that 6A for safety. Because I mean, if he's capable of such a good time on 6B, surely with some practice, it would be possible on A2 as well.
I feel that, because I know he mentioned that like his fastest time in 6A was like 7 minutes and some change. I honestly feel that I don't think that he would opt to go for 6A as a safety, because like 7 minutes is, and at this caliber, at this range, is a very not a good time. I'll say that.
Well, right. I'm saying I wonder if they'll put the
yeah.
time in to optimize that time, bring it down a lot lower.
That's a good question. I mean, you know, I believe he's already got his golden ticket, if I'm not mistaken. He's in for season 2, so he is going to have a little bit of time. So that is a good point. He either can choose to just refine his 6A or continue his 6B and bedazzle all the people. Honestly, I think that would be super hype. I know that we had Evan's fight running 6B late in the season 1 round, so it's going to be very exciting to see. I mean, overall, I have just been amazed at like all of the newcomers, the new guard, as I've been calling it. Just coming out of the woodworks and just, you know, they've been really putting in a lot of time and effort and just grind and making things work. And I'm very excited to see just how things are going to mix up once we get into season 2, because, you know, we got someone in chat asking if we can go full screen on Starcruncher for the time being, which we might be able to. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what our restreamer god will say about the matter. But to be honest, I don't know how many people from season 1 have made a return to season 2. From the looks of things, I believe it's Tej, M-Sushi. Wow, that took a minute. Tej, M-Sushi, and Chai, I know have mentioned that they've came back. I also heard that possibly Black Pear might be coming back, but then I'm not sure about the other top 9 that we have. So,
yeah, certainly hoping that Vlad comes back and who else is at that really top level? Jeez.
Well, we had Fladerby. There was oh my god, Nero. There we go. Ah!
Yeah, Nero is one that I really hope comes back, since he had to unfortunately forfeit before the quarterfinals, I think.
So nice boops drops there. Let's go. Hey, what's up, Avi? I see you. Yeah, there's just a lot of people. Unfortunately, like, you know, such a couple months ago, it's like I'm like, where, who, when, what, where, how, why.
Right.
It's just
you
like,
don't calm this game for 2 months and it just goes all down the drain somehow.
I know. It's like, oh.
But what didn't go all down the drain was Starcruncher's demo, or sorry, Bub's drop.
Bub's drop.
Perfectly clean first try. He's on a pretty solid run overall. I don't think he's taken any like really major deaths so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen any costly deaths. He's had some great saves that, like, yeah, he lost like maybe a second or two, but I mean, overall, just, you know, really solid time here. Now, again, this is that room that I was talking about before for the differences. You see how wide those are? Go back and look at Squilio's section where he went into 5B, and you'll see that they're not as forgiving.
Kind of an interesting little design change there. Starcruncher having to wait for the Seeker, not quite bopping him in exactly the right area.
A good time here. It's actually, yeah, it's not bad. It's about to hit the 2-minute mark, but if he plays this nice and crisp, he could get a sub 3.
Nice boost off the Seeker there.
The font is extra tiny. I thought it was at 150. It's not at 150 yet. And yeah, I agree. Flat and Chai do have a chance to give Teach a run for his money on 80% world record. Speaking of which, stop presses. A little bird told me that Chai Kitty actually hit sub 28 last night. So congrats to him. Yeah, he hit that
from Starcruncher in the gauntlet room.
Yeah, Chai has been just hitting that D-Rust. And I know Teach is going to ESA? Is that the name of it? The big
the European Speedrun Association.
Yeah, he's going to do an all chapters run there, so he's been mainly grinding that out. So that's, you know, that's fair. Oh,
dropping Theo right to the bottom in the impossible room. You might be right about this one. We'll have to see. Nope, not impossible.
Madeline just throwing a little too hard of a flex there. Just try to throw him over the mountain.
I was a little surprised Starcruncher didn't try breaking the heart with Theo, since had some trouble in that Theo section, but otherwise a really clean 5B.
Yeah, that's a 245. Very nice. He's at 1602 right now. I think he's, you know, depending on how his chapter 6 goes, he might be in striking distance for a potential PB here. We'll have to wait and see.
That'd be pretty exciting to see a live PB, especially in this kind of unintended showcase race.
Yeah. Also with Starcruncher 2, they had taken a brief hiatus at one point. It was around the time when Twitch Rivals for Celeste was going on. He was slated to run and be a part of that event, but unfortunately he ran into some issues with his modem literally the day of the tournament, and unfortunately was not able to participate. And so he was able to get that all right and ready, and then just kind of took a little bit of a break, but came back out swinging, and it's great to see him back in form here. not only in Celeste, but in a bunch of the other games that he runs. He also does what's the word I'm looking for here? I guess like I don't even know how to. I don't know the words. So I'm just gonna explain it. You know how like you have like the German SGDQ channel or whatever.
Oh yeah, the language restreams.
Yeah, there you go. He's done a few commentating for that too. Oh, having a little bit of hiccup here on this Kevin section, but able to get out.
Yeah, nicely done. Kind of interesting. It didn't seem like he was going for the standard strat where you do that wall bounce to go ahead and get the ice to fall. Oh, and dashing right into those spikes there.
If I remember correctly, he plays on a DualShock 4, and he actually is an analog player versus the D-pad. So
very interesting.
Yeah, I tried doing that on Switch because generally what I'll do on my commute home from work is I just play Celeste or any other random games on my Switch, and I was like, you know what, let me try the analog stick. Nope.
Right.
It's like nope.
It's pretty easy to misdirect. I wonder if it'd be easier though with like a GameCube controller or something with notches, so you can just play exclusively with notches.
I also feel like the pulls is a lot. I think that's the big thing for me. Like with the directional pad, you don't have a lot of pull to get where you need to go, which I like. Because I mean, you just press the button and there you go. But like with the GameCube controller, it's just you gotta like. Well, I guess you know, if you just tilt it a little bit, but I feel like I would make a whole bunch of mistakes, or I'd probably like drop the controller out of my hands.
Yeah, same here, honestly.
Yeah, so far doing really well. I think you opted for bottom route there, which. No disrespect to the game. I mean, that's one of the cool things about Celeste right now. I mean, yeah, we're seeing, like, as we saw in Season 1, there's a very distinct route that everybody went for. But at the same time, at least up until sub 30, it's possible to do other strats. In fact, it's possible to do 5A and still get a sub 30. It's very possible. I believe in Tej's first sub 30 run, that's what he got. Or that's the route that he went, so it's definitely doable. And that's one of the cool things about the game is that, like, you know, if you can't do a super hard strat, you can probably find time save somewhere else.
Yeah, it's all about optimizing the run for yourself, and because it's pretty much non-stop action, there's so many opportunities to do that.
Speaking of which, you're getting a little nice dance in there. So get ready for battle and boost.
Very nicely executed there. Just yeeting right into her. To just be as good as Tej forehead. Love chat.
I mean, honestly, just any of the top 4, if you really want to be realistic here. I mean, top 4, the difference in the top 4 runners right now, less than 20 seconds. So it doesn't have to be Tej. It could be Chai Kitty, it could be Flat, it could be M Sushi. I mean, technically, it could even be Nero. Those top 5 is a 20-second difference between those. And I mean, if you're hitting those numbers...
Yeah, it's pretty much the only difference at that point is just how long you've grinded for that better PB at that level.
Yeah, and even other stuff like, you know, someone could have just had a bad death somewhere. Someone could have just had, you know, oh, I missed the dash or had some sloppy movement. It's like it's those small little nuances that'll make a difference.
The Starcruncher with some pretty interesting movement in this battle in the room.
Yeah, nice improvising there. I respect the play. And actually, Electric, what have you been up to since Pace leading up to the Season 2 qualifier?
Oh,
man. How have things been in Electric Land?
Mainly been streaming, trying to get better at Mario 64. At some point, I'll finally be doing 70 runs once I can motivate myself to just actually learn TTC. It's just like there are a few stars that it's just they're very daunting to try to get remotely consistent. So that's kind of the hang up at the moment. But aside from that, been looking forward to doing more commentating, watching a couple different speed games that wanting to get into. Just
yeah, I mean,
my time with speed game.
For the most part, if I'm not mistaken, you've commentated every single game so far. Like just in this week, you've done Celeste, you've done Odyssey, and I believe you've done 64 as well, right?
Yep. All the leagues, all the league qualifiers that we're doing, I've conned a couple times, I think, for each game so far. And then like the Sunshine Finals, I ended up commenting. I've been a long time viewer of Sunshine, and so wanted to get into commenting that, especially after watching the GDQ race and kind of like making sure that my knowledge base of the game was as intact as I thought it was. And then I think the only thing I didn't really calm was like Double Dash and what was that game? Mario Bros 3. I don't know why I couldn't think of that for a sec.
Okay.
I even like whenever we had the Super Metroid tournament, I calmed a couple of races in that.
Oh wow, this guy. Oh my gosh. The master commentator here. Holy moly. That is a lot of groundwork. And you know, I will say, as I have been watching, you know, lurking from work, you've been doing a fantastic job.
Oh,
So,
thanks
hats
so
off
much,
to you.
man. It means a lot.
Would you see that Squillio's asking, when are the commentator races happening? That's a great question.
And we need to arrange something like that. That needs to be a tourney. Just
I think that would be hilarious.
I think the SM64 commentators race would be pretty stacked, honestly, because you got like Tama, Badronis, the whatever calming now. Like that would be
Yeah, that would be pretty hype. I mean, even for Celeste too. I mean, to be fair, Flare Bear and Sushi both have commentated during the league, so they technically would be allowed, if at least I would think.
Yeah, that'd be some pretty interesting races there.
Oh, definitely. To answer Expo TV Anx, I am sorry if I just slaughtered that name. Unfortunately, RG Gaming Lev067 did forfeit this match. They weren't feeling it when they came in. Actually, I saw in chat they said that they forgot what time zone they were in. So, which is fair. I mean, you know, the time that they be posting these matches, I believe, is Eastern Standard Time, and so I always have to do that math, and it just reminds me of that like meme of that. They show that woman kind of looking back and forth, and then all those math equations starts popping up.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like, especially because with daylight savings time too, it's just like, okay, well, before it was easy. It was like 4 hours, let's go, and now it's like 3. Okay, 3 here, and add 1, carry the 7.
Right.
Tie my shoes.
For
And
me,
it's
the
just like-
weird part is like my calendar started being displayed in Pacific Standard for some weird reason.
Really?
I'm in Central. Like there's no reason it should be doing that. I don't know what Google account it thinks I'm logged into or something, but like I've had to learn like 3 separate conversions, and it's just that's sometimes why I have some trouble like designating the times whenever I'm talking about the schedule. Is like I'm doing the conversions on the fly right there.
So I think what happened is he was able to go live today and then started the race, and it was up until about the beginning of chapter 3, which then he decided to forfeit. And it's very unfortunate, but it's just like, I don't think that there's much of an opportunity to reschedule due to the other games and stuff that we have going on here at GSA. So
Yeah,
I mean,
as
I don't.
Julio said, not many time
Yeah.
slots open anymore.
It is very tough to try to do that. But also, it'll still be interesting because, you know, he won yesterday, correct?
Yeah, he won that race versus Squilio, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so he's not out of it just quite yet. We'll have to see. That's what
Starcruncher.
this
Oh,
will
sorry, I
go
was just
on.
gonna say Starcruncher having a pretty nice summit so far, despite a couple of little deaths here and there. And we actually, I don't know if you were watching that race, but Aurora Dash pulled out a demo in that earlier room in 1500.
No, I heard you popping off about that. I was like, oh, yo, let's go. Oh no,
It's like,
man,
what
nothing
even?
secret.
Like it's pretty interesting. If you were able to like see the hitboxes visually displayed, you would see that there's a lot of holes in these different Dust Bunny sections. It's not like one solid glob of them. And so like there are some cases where you can do a demo, but it's not quite as reliable as that one that we do in chapter 3. And it doesn't save anywhere near as much time. That one is just a special case because there's a very reliable setup you can do to make yourself very well aligned, so you can just dash at the height of it, like the apex of a jump. But then like all the other ones, like that one that Aurora Dash went for, I guess it's a bit easier than some of the just TAS only ones because it's the very beginning of the room. but you have to very particularly time your dash after your jump. It's like a rhythmic setup is what I've heard described as.
Is Starcrunsher actually having a little bit of menu nonsense happening there? Oh, missing his wall bounce here too, as he's grooving into 2000. Nice demos into those clouds. Oh, and it just
The unfortunate death.
the body
Not
splashed
quite.
into the pit.
Yeah.
She'll be all right.
Okay, doesn't like this death cycle, or doesn't like whatever weird thing he would be on. I don't even know if you could call it a cycle at that point. But
Yeah,
managing to get past the snowballs pretty handily.
And Starcruncher going for the traditional skip here. I saw him do that earlier this week as well, so maybe not confident in just trying to go for that just yet. And I'll respect that play, because that is actually a bad time loss if you die there.
Oh yeah, and the skip is just, it's pretty hard. You have to maneuver Madeline pretty precisely through that little section, and it's pretty precise to actually land on things that aren't spikes. Oh, getting a little bit of a bop there.
Stamina might come into play here. No, he's good. Okay.
All right. Nice save in that room. Just Starcruncher filling this run with saves.
It's almost seeming like the saves are more hype than just like clean movement.
Oh yeah. 'Cause I mean, at a point you get so used to like, oh, Madeline's just going real fast. But whenever you see those little bobbles and suddenly the muscle memory comes into question and they have to react instantaneously, I think that's really partially the mark of a truly great player, is being able to recover from those things very handily. Now, some issues in this movement here, not quite getting into the red orb, and then bobbing on
I think
again.
he's trying to. I think he's going for that corner booster, which is very risky. Playing it safe this time around. Also in chat, someone is asking what happened with Lev. It sounded like he just came in cold, like didn't have an opportunity to warm up prior to actually performing the race, and that's a really bad. That's a bad setup for anybody if you've done that. I mean, like, I've played in fighting game tournaments, and if you haven't warmed your hands up prior to, it's disastrous. And unfortunately, he thought he was going to be able to just kind of like warm up as he went, and unfortunately, things just did not fall in his favor, and ended up giving up.
Yeah, I think he just didn't come in with the right mentality. There might be some IRL things happening, or just something that we don't know about. Just didn't quite seem like he was, but both, like you said, he came in cold, and it just didn't seem like he was really feeling it today for whatever reason, which is totally understandable. I mean, props to him for at least trying it first.
Yeah, definitely. And then props to Starcruncher for finishing this one out as well. Doing it for the stats, doing it for Troy of Athens' spectacular stats page.
Yup, huge shout out to Troy of Athens for the stat maintenance he does. He spends so much effort on those stats, and it really pays off.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that's hard. It's hard as in, like, time consuming. You really need to sit down and just, I'm going to sit down and focus on this. Because, like, I was doing it early on while I was still out from work. And then I went back to work, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't have time to do anything if I do this. So I was like, I have to step away, just gracefully fall out on assisting with that. But huge shouts to him for doing that, because it's really cool to see. It's really cool to have that there, and just having those nice little nuances, especially like percentage of success with demos and bubs drops and all the other great stuff. So, but we got Starcruncher having a little bit of hang up and first in 3000, but definitely had a very exceptional downdraft here. He's getting ready to move into the updraft portion. It's going to be a little close. His PB, I believe, is at 3113. I think
with the
or 32
with perfect movement, he has a chance. Oh, that might kill it right there. Unfortunately, that's a pretty rough death to take.
Electric, I thought you left your commentator curse back at pace. What happened?
I don't know, man. We still haven't tracked down whatever voodoo witch doctor, whatever has cast that curse. We're trying, okay? We've enlisted the SCP Foundation. Like we've enlisted people we can't even mention due to our contracts. We're trying everything, man. It's a global manhunt. We still cannot find the source of this curse.
Alright, so I stand corrected. I think it's 3136 is what Starcruncher had. So it's gonna be a little close. If he can get to this part, if clean. I think he'll be okay, but
We're on good pace, moving for.
Oh,
Oh, dash too early.
commentator curse!
Right.
Come through, sis.
I remember someone in chat saying that it wasn't a thing in speedruns, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And of course, you're a crossover from the fighting game community, so you have that hands-on experience there.
Oh, yeah,
I'd say what we have is pretty comparable, wouldn't you?
I have definitely cursed a lot of people in my FGC commentating. It's definitely real. It's definitely real. All right, we're getting through here as well. And again, folks, don't, this one is about to wrap up. We're about to put this one in the books. Don't go anywhere. We have more great action coming up. We've got some Super Mario 64. We actually got a doubleheader coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's in Pacific.
5 p.m. CST, so that checks out.
Yeah, I had to look at it and think a minute. But we're gonna have Gothic Logic versus Max 25, and then we actually have Droz versus Gothic Logic. I apologize if I messed up your name, Droz. Could be Dross, like Andros.
Yeah, it is Draws actually. I think
see?
the full name he used to use was Drozdowski, but decided to shorten it a while back.
Super Snort, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the vulgarity from both of the commentators because we're just cursing up a storm. But with that, Starcruncher is going to wrap up at a 32-13.
Really solid run. About
Yeah, that's
what is that, like 40 or so seconds off PB? Not bad.
40 and some change. Let's see if we can get Starcruncher in here. Aw, he's passing.
Oh,
Come on, Starcruncher!
No interview today, unfortunately, but we do get to go ahead and look a little bit at the awkward pie photo. That's like, I wish any percent ended slightly better. It's just so funny to look at this photo after such an exceptional speed run. After you put so much effort into optimizing all your movement, you just get this.
All right, so we're gonna just do a quick closeout before we move into intermission here. So again, Electric, thank you so much for stepping up to the mic. It is great to get back in the saddle with you. And
but of course, and the pleasure's all mine, man. It's always a pleasure with you in the booth.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, if you are just tuning in or you want to catch more of these fantastic Celeste races, we do have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that tag up in the chat here. We got two actually. We got one for the tournaments and then one for just traditional global speedrun stuff. For example, deep dive episodes. You can catch all of the showcase runs from Pace, including my Invisible Percent run. I'm gonna throw that out there. Check those out. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Yes, I've been around this rodeo before. I know how to say all those great things. And with that, also too, real quick, give Starcruncher and Lev a follow for their streams too. Like, they're fantastic content creators, fantastic streamers, all that stuff. Electric and myself as well, if you could be so kind. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to follow Speedrun here on Twitch for more exciting races. And with that, you got anything else for us, Electric?
Nope, just that if you want to see what's coming up in the coming days, exclamation schedule to see that calendar, see all the races, designate the ones you want to call off work to see because they'll be hype. And then also exclamation merch if you want to buy some swag, GSA hoodies and such to help support us. And with that, we'll be off. Stay tuned for some Mario 64 action. Peace.
Yep, take care.